The next question is related to WIP, and we will start with Senator Cervantes. The U.S. federal government spent $14 billion on Yucca Mountain in Nevada in 2010 for a proposed depository for nuclear waste. Nevada's local, state, and federal representatives stood together to oppose the opening of Yucca Mountain. This left American utilities and the U.S. government with the Waste Isolation Pilot Plant, WIP, in New Mexico as the only site for the disposal of unstable radioactive waste in the country. As governor of New Mexico, what is your position on the continued dumping of nuclear waste in New Mexico?
This last session, the community of Carlsbad came to the legislature because they have a cavern. You all may have heard about it. A cavern you're all nodding your heads. A cavern in the middle of Carlsbad that's below housing, mobile manufacturing, the major highway over which WIP trucks travel, school buses travel. It's the major source of water through the community. All of this is located above a salt cavern that was created by the oil and gas industry and pumping, and an unscrupulous owner who left the state hanging. And so the committee of Carlsbad comes to the legislature and says, we have a disaster in the making, and they do. The legislature had to come up with $43 million in this one last session, in a 30-day session, $43 million to try and remediate a problem that was left behind by others. I understand the committee of Carlsbad sometimes supports things like WIP and other repositories. They're looking for economic opportunities, they're looking for jobs. And I can respect that, and I can appreciate that, but that's not my vision for New Mexico. My vision for New Mexico is not as a repository, as a waste storage plant. And my experience with Carlsbad, I think is important for all of us to recognize, is that people will make us good promises, promise us good jobs, promise us wonderful opportunities, but when the problems are left behind for us as taxpayers to resolve and remediate and pay for, then we have the situation we have in Carlsbad today. And so while we have the promises of this new opportunities for a waste repository in Carlsbad and Hobbs, we need to persuade those communities there are better solutions than becoming a dumping ground for the country when it comes to nuclear waste or other products of energy or other waste that other states don't want, whether it's Yucca Mountain or Nevada. New Mexico needs to represent something much better than a dumping ground for other states. Our Carlsbad is the best example of how not to do it.
Thank you. Mr. Apodaca, same question, please.
Once again, 84 cents on every dollar that comes into our state are state or federal contracts. We have the highest unemployment in the country. So when these opportunities come, communities want to jump on it because they see opportunities. So what does New Mexico become? We become a dumping ground for nuclear waste. That's really what we've become. And now some of our areas really need the economy because when you have the highest unemployment, lost 146,000 jobs, you get desperate. When you're desperate, you make bad decisions. As governor, I don't want our state ever to be desperate. That's why we have to diversify our economy and create opportunities for those communities. Folks, we know our first industries were agriculture, ranching, farming. Then we got into oil and gas, mining. But I want you to think about this. Our lost opportunities. Aerospace, nuclear, computers, nanotechnology, biotechnology, 3D imaging, cybersecurity, LASIK. I've just named you 8 industries that literally have created hundreds of thousands of jobs and trillion-dollar economies for the United States and other states. And every one of those industries started right here in New Mexico, every one. And it still goes on today. University of New Mexico is one of the top biotechnology research institutions in the country. We've literally created over 400 patents in biotechnology research. Now, what does that mean? We love doing the research, we love doing the development, but then all the tech transfer leaves our state. So that's what we're talking about. We get desperate about taking nuclear waste instead of investing part of our $23 billion into our economy, into our own companies. And go look at our jobs plan because it's not a dream, it's reality. If we would invest into our own companies, if we'd invest into infrastructure and training New Mexicans, we'd literally have a robust economy and we wouldn't be desperate to take nuclear waste on. So as your governor, I will grow the economy by 225,000 new jobs so we will not become a nuclear dump site for the country.
Congresswoman Lujan.
When we talk about New Mexico, when we talk about folks coming back home. We want our young people to come back home, and we talk about all the folks, I think many of you here chose New Mexico to be the place that you wanted to live and work. We know that part of that is what a beautiful state this is. It is one of the most culturally diverse and beautiful states in the country. We have 3 World Heritage Sites in New Mexico, more than any other state in the nation. Our outdoor economy should be second to none. The Rockies start in New Mexico, not in Colorado. They start here. We should be leading in these clean energy economies and really focusing on our efforts to draw people here, both as tourists and folks who want to live and work here. And when they choose where they want to live and work, they are looking for a clean energy, clean, environmentally sound state. We know that. That's why we're here. The notion that we would not be that leader or be that state and would invest in or agree to being a nuclear waste depository is outrageous. And we have to do everything in our power because the federal government, again, doesn't have a nuclear waste storage strategy. And so they're looking for a small state that's a bit remote. And they don't think that we're tough enough to fight them. Well, yes, we are. And I'll be a governor over hell will break loose, my dead body, before they allow us to be the nuclear waste storage dumping ground for the rest of the country. Let's protect New Mexico. We have the opportunity to do that. As your governor, I absolutely will.